Hello everybody, now we're gonna start with unit number 10, Living Your Life. Four corners, level 3. Qualities for success, reflexive pronouns, advising against something, considering advice, separable phrasal verbs, second conditional. The second conditional is the unreal conditional, so it's for imagination when you try to express something like it's imaginary. And lesson D, reading a walk across Japan, writing an accomplishment, right? Now we have a little structure says, look at the pictures. What have the people accomplished? What are some of your accomplishments? And what other things would you like to accomplish in your life? Okay, let's gonna see. Okay, here it's like a birthday. This might be the party guy. Okay, then there's a girl, probably who hike a hill or a cliff. Then having your own business, your own pastry shop, bakery, graduating, right? So it's one of the accomplishments, right, for many of us. This could be opening. Okay, this is like opening a store. It looks like antique store, something like that. And this is like probably doing exercise, a track, I don't know. Okay, so we have different type of accomplishments. Now let's continue and start our unit. So in the section A, we will look to he of himself. We're gonna talk about reflexive pronouns, and we have here qualities for success. In this moment, well, is a time that I pause. Well, you should pause the video and check out the answers with me. Let's gonna reveal the answers. And here you go. So number one is bravery. 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 And then we have, it says, the ability to develop original ideas, the belief that you can succeed, a commitment to something, the quality of showing no fear. Okay, so let's see which is the possible answer. It's letter D, quality of showing no fear. And then we have confidence. So we have the ability to develop original ideas, the belief that you can succeed, a commitment to something. So it's letter B, the belief that you can succeed. And then we have creativity. Then creativity, we have letter B, A, the ability to develop original ideas, and commitment to something. So it's letter A, the ability to develop original ideas. And number 4, dedication. In dedication, we'll have the quality of showing no fear. And then, so we're just missing that letter C, a commitment to something. And later we have enthusiasm, flexibility, talent, wisdom. Then the ability to change easily, a strong interest in something, the ability to make good decisions, the natural ability to do things well. So number 1 says letter F, a strong interest in something, enthusiasm. Then next to we have letter E. It says the ability to change easily, flexibility. Then the next one it's H, number 7, for talent, the natural ability to do things well. And then number 8, that's wisdom, letter G, which has the ability to make good decisions. Okay, now we have listening activities is complete the chart with the correct adjective forms for the nouns. Then listen and check your answer. So let's gonna listen carefully. Okay, so it's time of listening.
Part B. Noun, adjective.
Bravery, brave.
Confidence, confident.
Creativity, creative.
Dedication, dedicated.
Enthusiasm, enthusiastic.
Flexibility, flexible.
Talent, talented.
Wisdom, wise.
Perfect. So now that we checked the vocabulary, let's gonna reveal the answers. So bravery. bravery, brave. It's really common using the conversion noun adjective to noun. And well, here we have the results. It's confidence, confident, creativity, creative, dedication, dedicated. When you have the letter T at the end, it's the same rule of the past verbs. No, dedicated or dedicated. Now you use a BBC variety. Then the next one is enthusiasm, enthusiasm, enthusiastic, enthusiastic, flexibility, flexible. There's a contraction here like that, flexible. And then we have talent, talented, and finally we have wisdom, wise. Perfect. Now we have here language in context. Let's gonna check out the reading. You can pause the video if you want it, and then listening the video while the audio track along. No, so we have Jung and Jung. Okay, let's gonna put the track, and we're gonna follow up the story of Jung Yu Jung.
Page 94. Exercise 2. Language in context. A success story. Web Encyclopedia. Young Un-yang.
In his late teens, South Korea's Young Un-yang, or YE, enjoyed lifting weights and hoped to own his own gym someday. But that dream died when he hurt himself in the gym. So at age 19, he took a part-time job at a golf course. He picked up golf balls and began to observe other players. He started to practice the game by himself late at night, and he even forced himself to get up early to be at the course by 5 a.m. for more practice. This is how YE taught himself to play golf. His dedication and patience paid off. He became a professional golfer in 1995. And in 2009, this talented man won his first championship, beating Tiger Woods.
All right, so now we listen to this guy's live, Jung Un-jang. I don't know if I pronounce it correctly. Well, it's a Korean name. Okay, so now we're gonna continue practicing the part of workbook. All right, now we're gonna check living your life. He thought himself. We have here the next puzzle. And the next definition is strong interest in something, the quality of showing no fear, the ability to change easily, commitments to something, the belief that you can succeed, the ability to develop original ideas. Okay, so let's gonna find out the answers. Well, we already looked to the definitions. Okay, you can pause the video and try to figure out the possible answers. And here you go. Number 1, enthusiasm. Enthusiasm. Number 2, bravery. There's a contraction with the letter E. You see it like bravery. Bravery. Flexibility. Flexibility. Dedication. Dedication. If you're using BBC English, you will say, or you might say, dedication. Then confidence. Confidence. Well, in the American variety, we pronounce the letter D like the, confidence. 6, creativity. The same, the letter T. Well, BBC English will be creativity. Creativity. And, well, mystery word, that's here, it's talent. Well, turns like the conversion, no? The noun talent to adjective is talented. Okay, now we have a short reading. Says circle the correct words to complete the article. Okay, so then it's time. You can pause the video in this moment and check out the reading. And we're gonna circle the right word. Now if it's the adjective or the noun. So circle the correct words to complete the article. Okay, so it's time to pause the video. And now we're gonna be revealing the answers. So Farmer Jim Rowland says, man says friend. Farmers Jim Rowland and Ryan Jensen were trying to take salt bins out the large bin, but they wouldn't come out. Jim Rowland was confident that he could fix the problem, but his confidence got him in trouble. He climbed some stairs and went into the bin. The beans moved and covered him completely. Ryan Jensen told another worker to call for help. Then he had creative idea. He wasn't sure if it was wise, but he also went into the bin. He got on his stomach on top of the beans for 4 hours. He moved beans so Roland could breathe. His dedication and bravery saved his friend's life. Rescue workers finally came. They removed the beans and helped Roland out of the bin. He was fine, and he was happy to have talented people help him. All right? Perfect. And now we're gonna go back to the student's book and look to reflexive pronouns. We have this grammar explanation. Let's gonna listen to it. Okay.
Page 95. Exercise 3. Grammar. Reflexive pronouns. Use reflexive pronouns when the subject and object of a sentence refer to the same person or thing.
I hurt myself at work.
He taught himself to play golf.
They consider themselves brave.
By with a reflexive pronoun means alone.
She traveled by herself to the United States.
Do you like to practice with another person or by yourself?
Personal pronouns.
I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they.
Reflexive pronouns.
Myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, ourselves, yourselves, themselves.
Now we can notice that we have two yous, right? So remember that you could be used for singular or, describing a singular noun or plural, okay? And now look the difference with yourself, singular, and yourselves. Now those actually, these last ones, they express like plural reflexive pronouns, okay? So you need to be careful once you read it. And we have an exercise is complete the sentence with the correct reflexive pronouns, then compare with a partner. So I have, let's gonna now pause the video and check out the answers with me. And here you go. So I drew a picture of myself in art class. I like your new hairstyle. Did you cut it yourself? I think you and Joe can fix the sink yourselves. Don't need to hire a plumber. They had a great time. They really enjoyed themselves. Number 5, my brother doesn't consider himself brave, but he is. And number 6, Heather wrote that by herself. Nobody helped her. Remember that using by, it is expressing like alone, okay? And then number 7, we taught ourselves Spanish before we moved to Peru. I hurt myself at the gym last week. My arm still hurts. And finally, number 9, I took a trip by myself. It helped me be more confident. Okay? Now let's gonna check out the pronunciation and stress shifts. And let's gonna check it out and try to repeat it by ourselves.
Page 95. Exercise 4. Pronunciation. Stress shifts.
Creativity. Creative.
Dedication. Dedicated.
Enthusiasm. Enthusiastic.
Flexibility. Flexible.
All right, now let's gonna try to practice creativity, creative, dedication, dedicated, enthusiasm, enthusiastic, flexibility, flexible. Now we have speaking self-talk. It's interviewer partners, but in this case, you're gonna answer it. This will be activity number 1. You can pick up any of these questions and answer it. So, have you ever heard yourself? Do you consider yourself brave? Have you ever traveled by yourself? Have you ever taught yourself something? Are you enjoying yourself in this class? Do you consider yourself a flexible person? Okay, let's gonna see. Do you consider yourself a flexible person? Yes, I consider myself flexible person. Well, I consider myself flexible person because I can, I like talking to people. Yeah, so there are many ways now that I have to make like approach to people from different cultures, for example. So I'd say that I am a flexible person. Yes, I consider myself flexible person. So then you can write down, here's your first activity. Now let's gonna do some practice and put the words in the correct order to make sentences. And well, so you can pause the video in this moment. Okay, we're gonna put in order the next sentences, and here you go. Number 1, it says I painted a picture of myself in art class. Number 2, the computer isn't going to work by itself. What is the reflexive pronoun number 1? Myself. In the number 2, itself. Number 3, my mother doesn't consider herself brave. You can use these verbs, no, like consider, okay, follow up with a reflexive pronoun. Number 4, Kyle and Mick taught themselves Japanese. Number 5, don't blame yourselves for my problems. 6, when did Chris hurt himself? Did you draw the picture by yourself? We enjoy ourselves on a trip to New York. Okay, and ourselves. Okay, so let's gonna look to the reflexive pronouns. Myself, itself, herself, that's for female, themselves, yourselves, plural, and himself. Right now, below we have another practice. Complete the sentences with the correct reflexive pronouns. Then you can pause the video right here and check out the answers with me. Okay, so it's time to reveal the answers. Okay, and here we go. What do people like to do by themselves? Here's what some of our readers said. I like to travel by myself. I always meet interesting people, and sometimes they teach me words of wisdom. Stumpy, Chicago. My brother and I love to play video games by ourselves. We don't like our sisters to play with us. Jacob, San Antonio. My husband likes to cook by himself. And that's okay with me. Lydia, Boston. My daughter is very enthusiastic and she likes to do extreme sports by herself. It makes me nervous. Nia Young K, San Francisco. And what do you like to do by yourself? If you can see, well, there's a little tip. There's a relationship with the subject and the reflexive pronoun, no? So as you can see, what do people like to do by themselves? So we're talking about people, then themselves. We're gonna use a different color. Themselves. Then I like to travel. Then I. Okay, and then we have here myself. Then my brother and I. My brother and I. We are talking about we. Yes, ourselves. Yeah. And my husband. We are talking about he. Well, in this case, him. So it's himself. My daughter is. Then we're talking about her. So that's herself. And then the last question, what do you like to do by yourself? So it's asking to you, so it's yourself. It's pretty easy. Just a tip is look to the subject, look to the question, the structure, the context, and you can easily deduce the answers. All right, let's continue with the next exercise to put into practice complete the conversation with the correct personal and reflective pronouns. All right, so let's gonna do it together. Now you can pause the video and check it out with me. Here you go. So, I like your scarf, Phoebe. Thanks, I made it by myself. Wow, you have a lot of talent. Look, my son painted this by himself. He did great job. Did you hear what happened to Emily? No, I didn't. She hurt herself. Skin. Is she okay? Yes, she is. We really enjoyed ourselves at your party, Pedro. I'm glad you had fun, but the food I made was terrible. Don't blame yourself. It was fine. You're right. My friends enjoyed themselves. That's what counts. Okay, so again, look to the subjects on the sentences, and then you can find out what type of relative pronoun you will use. Okay, so in the same, we're gonna highlight it. So this is I, well, so I like. Then this I made it by myself. Wow, there's we're missing a subject here, so that's why we have the number 3, you. Look, my son's painting this by, well, my son, it's this a boy. We use we're talking about him. Yes, that's why himself. And then the number 2 here below is he did a great job. No, it's a subject. No. So in the conversation C, do you hear what happened to Emily? No. And then says here, I didn't. She hurt. No, it's talking about she. That's herself. Skin is talking about the same person. Is she okay? No, missing a subject. And we can go on like that. Okay. Now let's gonna do the next exercise. It says answer the questions with your own information. And this activity, that's activity number 2. Look to the examples. Yes, I do. I'm very enthusiastic about good music. Or no, I don't. I'm not enthusiastic about anything. Okay, now let's gonna check out the questions. Do you consider yourself enthusiastic? What are you enthusiastic about? Do you consider yourself flexible, or do you like to do things your own way? What do you like to do by yourself? Have you ever painted yourself? What did the picture look like? Do you know someone who hurt himself or herself playing a sport? What happened? Do you think people should travel by themselves? Why or why not? Okay? So this is activity number 2. Now we're gonna go to section B. I'll give it some thought. And it says interactions, giving and considering advice. What do you do if you have too much work or studying to do? Do you talk to anyone? All right, now let's gonna listen to the next conversation, and then you can practice it along.
Lesson B. I'll give it some thought. Page 96. Exercise 1. Interactions. Giving and considering advice. Part B.
What's wrong, Brian?
Well, my job is just really stressful right now. My boss just seems to give me more and more work. It's not fair.
That's not good.
Actually, I'm thinking about quitting and looking for another job.
Really? I wouldn't recommend that.
Why not?
Well, because you may not find something better, and that would just give you more stress. Have you thought about talking to your boss?
Not really.
Why don't you try that? Maybe there is something he can do.
I'll see.
All right. Well, as you can see, interaction between Martha and Brian, they are giving and considering some advice. Let's gonna check out then, read the expressions below, complete each box with similar expressions from the conversation. Okay, it says then listen and check your answers. Okay, we're gonna just show up the advising against something and considering advice. First, advising against something, I wouldn't recommend that. I don't think you should do that. I'm not sure that's the best idea. Considering advice, I'll see. I'll think about it. I'll give it some thought. Okay? Then says, how would you respond? Is right A, advise against, or C, consider it? We have here the different situations below. I think you should call the doctor. I plan to study all night before my test. I recommend that you stay home tomorrow if you don't want to feel well. And then I think you should visit your grandmother this weekend. I'm going to paint my house bright pink. I'm not going to class tomorrow because I want to watch a soccer game. All right, then let's gonna check out the answers, and here you go. Okay, so it says once again, advise against it and consider it. No, so this is consider it. Number 2, it's advise against it. And 3 and 4 consider, and 5 and 6 it's advise against it. Okay, now we're gonna practice this with these expressions, advising against something and considering advice. Right, by going here. So it's time that you can pause the video. It says write the conversation in the correct order. Okay, so then you can check it out. Now let's see the conversation order. And here you go. This is Erin and Tina. Hi Tina, where are you going? I'm going to Tech It to buy a new computer. I don't think you should do that. Really? Why not? Their prices are really high. You should go to cup.com. It's an online store. I'll give it some thanks. So it's against the advice, right? All right, then let's gonna continue to the next exercise. Complete the conversations. Use information from the pictures and the sentence from the box, and then you can follow up the same structure. No? So you want to see against the answers. You can pause the video in this section, okay, to check out the order. Then we're gonna go right here, and we have the expression I wouldn't recommend that. I'll see. I'll think about it. I'm not sure that's the best idea. And here you go. Hi Ellie, where are you going? I'm going to Phone Tree to buy a new cell phone. I wouldn't recommend that. I'm not sure that's the best idea. Really? Why not? Why? The prices are really high. You should go to phonestate.com. It's an online store. I'll see. I'll think about it. Thanks. Sasha, number 2. Hi Mark, where are you going? I'm going to the Best Bikes to buy a new bike. I wouldn't recommend that. I'm sure that's the best idea. Really? Why not? Why? Their prices are really high. You should go to belkit.com. It's an online store. I'll see. I'll think about it. Thanks. And that's it. And now we're gonna go back to our students' book. It says, listen, maybe I'll do that. It says, listen to Tim give advice to 3 friends. What is each friend's problem? We're gonna do some, we're gonna check the correct answers, and let's gonna listen to it.
Page 97, Exercise 2, Listening. Maybe I'll do that. 1.
Hey, Jennifer. How are you doing?
Hi, Tim. All right, I guess.
Are you sure?
Well, I'm taking a lot of classes. Plus, I have my part-time job. Yeah. Actually, I'm thinking about quitting my job.
Really? Are you sure you want to do that?
I don't know.
Well, I wouldn't recommend doing that.
I don't want to, but I'm not sure what to do.
Work fewer hours. That will save you some time, but you'll still make money.
I'll give it some thought. Maybe I'll talk to my boss about it.
Let me know what you decide.
I will. Thanks, Tim.
2.
What do you think, Tim? Nice, huh?
Yeah, it's very nice. But do you need a leather jacket?
Well, no. But I think I'll get it. It's only $500.
Wow, that's expensive. Do you have the money to buy this?
No, not at all. But that's what credit cards are for.
Are you crazy? If you don't have the money, you shouldn't charge it. I don't think it's a good idea.
Oh, come on.
Save your money. If you have enough money later, you can buy it then. Let's go somewhere else.
All right. I'll think about it. I can always come back if I want it.
3.
This is driving me crazy.
What is?
This math problem. I keep getting it wrong. I don't understand how to do it.
I'm not very good at math. Listen, do you want to get some coffee?
I really need to finish this assignment.
Take a break. Sometimes it helps to step away from the problem for a little while.
Do you think it will help?
It works for me.
I'll give it some thought. Let me just try it one more time. If I can't get it, I'll go get some coffee with you.
Okay. Sounds good. Good luck.
All right, now let's gonna check out the answers. And here you go. These are the problems. No, so it's number 1 is she's thinking about quitting her job. Then recommendations: work fewer hours. And number 2, he doesn't have the money, save money. And she can't do a math problem, so take a break. All right. Now let's gonna do the next activity. This is activity number 3, where you need to pick up any of the situations. Imagine your friend wants to do the things below. What advice would you give right now? So you're gonna pick any of these situations, and after, well, your friend wants to buy a new expensive car. He doesn't have the money, and he doesn't know how to drive. And the next one says your friend wants to take 2 more classes. He's already taking 5 classes and he has part-time job. And your friend wants to go camping in the mountains by himself for a week. He's never gone camping before. Okay, so this is activity number 3. Now we're gonna go back to part C. What would you do? It's vocabulary, separable phrasal verbs, and we're gonna match phrasal verbs and their meanings. Then listen and check your answers. So it's time to check out the audio track and pay close attention to them.
Lesson C. What would you do? Page 98. Exercise 1. Vocabulary. Separable phrasal verbs. 1.
He won't talk about his job, so don't bring it up. Bring up. C. Mention.
2.
I got a bad grade on this essay. I need to do it over. Do over. D. Do again.
3.
I don't need these books. I might give them away. Give away. A. Donate.
4.
This is Lynn's camera. I need to give it back. Give back. E. Return.
5.
Paul lent me some money. I need to pay him back. Pay back. B. Return money.
6.
Which one is Susan? Can you point her out? Point out. G. Identify.
7.
We can't have this meeting now. Let's put it off. Put off. F. Do later.
8.
This is serious. We need to talk it over. Talk over. J. Discuss.
9.
I may buy that car, but I want to try it out first. Try out. I. Use.
10.
I have a job offer, but I plan to turn it down. Turn down. H. Not accept.
Right now, let's gonna check out the answers. And here you go. So separate phrasal verbs. It's really common in English using them, the separate phrasal verbs. And there are even some dictionaries specialized for these combinations of verbs and prepositions. Now let's gonna go to the next conversation. It says I'm kind of broke, or I'm kind of broke. It's between Elliot and Lucia. It's what is Lucia thinking about doing? And the next one is why does Lucia want a camera? So we're gonna try to figure out these answers and we're gonna listen to the track. And here you go.
Lesson C. What would you do? Page 98. Exercise 2. Conversation. I'm kind of broke. Part A.
I really like your camera.
Actually, it's my friend Ben's. I'm just trying it out this week. I need to give it back to him tomorrow.
It looks really expensive.
It is. I'm thinking about buying one, but I can't right now.
Why not?
Well, I'm kind of broke. If I had more money, I'd buy it.
It would be nice to be rich, wouldn't it?
Tell me about it. What would you do if you were rich?
If I were rich, I'd travel. I'd give some money away, too.
That's nice.
All right, now let's gonna answer the next question. So number one, what is Lucia thinking about doing? And it says she's thinking about buying a camera. And for what reason she's trying to buy a new camera? And here is the reason. So she wants to take better photo and eventually become a professional photographer. So you like photograph? Well, there are many people who likes photographs. Now let's gonna go to our grammar of this section, which is the second conditional. We have already seen conditional type 0, 1, and now 2. Conditional type 0, we use simple present for both clauses, and it expresses general truths. The conditional type 2, it expresses possibilities, and we use the modal verb will and other verbs that express uncertainty about future. It's really important to follow up these formulas because that's the way that we're gonna use them, or that they are made of. For example, the zero conditional, we use a simple present, and we use a will clause or other modal verb that expresses uncertainty about future possibility. And remember that after the modal verbs we use the base forms. Now for the second conditional, we use it to express imaginary, unreal situations, and in these clauses we have to use the simple past, and the result clause we use would all the time, and the base form. Remember that would is a modal verb, so after modal verbs we use the base form. Now let's gonna listen to the explanation. Okay, let's gonna check it out.
Page 99. Exercise 3. Grammar. Second conditional. Second conditional sentences describe unreal or imaginary situations. Use a past tense verb in the if clause, the condition. Use would in the main clause.
What would you do if you had more money?
If I had more money, I would buy a camcorder.
Use were for the past tense of be in the condition.
Would you travel if you were rich?
Yes, I would. Yes, if I were rich, I'd travel a lot. No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't travel a lot if I were rich.
Okay. Now, it's important to notice that when we have the verb to be, the verb to be is always used with were. Despite that in simple past we use it as was for I, he, she, and it for the singulars. But in the real conditional we use were. That means that it's something that's unreal. And also, don't forget to follow up the structures. It's really important. Now we're gonna have this exercise complete the conversation with the correct words, then compare with a partner. So it's time to pause the video and check out the answers with me. And here you go. So it says, what would you do if suddenly became rich? So the verb become turns to became, simple past. Looked at would do, base form. Now, I would quit my job, then I would travel for a few months. We use would to respond, to answer to the questions. Then, number 2, if a teacher gave you a good grade by mistake, what would you do? Gave, simple past of give. Then, what would you do? Question. I wouldn't feel right about it. I would point out the mistake. So it's an answers. Look at the verbs, base form. Then, how would you feel if a friend called you late at night? I would be surprised, but I wouldn't feel angry. Simple past of call, so it's call. Now we're gonna go back to part C. What would you do? It's vocabulary, separable phrasal verbs, and we're gonna match phrasal verbs and their meanings. Then listen and check your answers. So it's time to check out the audio track and pay close attention to them.
Lesson C. What would you do? Page 98. Exercise 1. Vocabulary. Separable phrasal verbs. 1.
He won't talk about his job, so don't bring it up. Bring up. C. Mention.
2.
I got a bad grade on this essay. I need to do it over. Do over. D. Do again.
3.
I don't need these books. I might give them away. Give away. A. Donate.
4.
This is Lynn's camera. I need to give it back. Give back. E. Return.
5.
Paul lent me some money. I need to pay him back. Pay back. B. Return money.
6.
Which one is Susan? Can you point her out? Point out. G. Identify.
7.
We can't have this meeting now. Let's put it off. Put off. F. Do later.
8.
This is serious. We need to talk it over. Talk over. J. Discuss.
9.
I may buy that car, but I want to try it out first. Try out. I. Use.
10.
I have a job offer, but I plan to turn it down. Turn down. H. Not accept.
All right, now let's gonna check out the answers. And here you go. So separable phrasal verbs. It's really common in English using them, the separable phrasal verbs. And there are even some dictionaries specialized for these combinations of verbs and prepositions. Now let's gonna go to the next conversation. This is I'm kind of broke, or I'm kind of broke. It's between Elliot and Lucia. It's what is Lucia thinking about doing? And the next one is why does Lucia want a camera? So we're gonna try to figure out these answers and we're gonna listen to the track. And here you go.
Lesson C. What would you do? Page 98. Exercise 2. Conversation. I'm kind of broke. Part A.
I really like your camera.
Actually, it's my friend Ben's. I'm just trying it out this week. I need to give it back to him tomorrow.
It looks really expensive.
It is. I'm thinking about buying one, but I can't right now.
Why not?
Well, I'm kind of broke. If I had more money, I'd buy it.
It would be nice to be rich, wouldn't it?
Tell me about it. What would you do if you were rich?
If I were rich, I'd travel. I'd give some money away, too.
That's nice.
All right, now let's gonna answer the next question. So number one, what is Lucia thinking about doing? And it says she's thinking about buying a camera. And for what reason she's trying to buy a new camera? And here is the reason. So she wants to take better photo and eventually become a professional photographer. So you like photograph? Well, there are many people who likes photographs. Now let's gonna go to our grammar of this section, which is the second conditional. We have already seen conditional type 0, 1, and now 2. Conditional type 0, we use simple present for both clauses, and it expresses general truths. The conditional type 2, they express, or it expresses possibilities, and we use the modal verb will and other verbs that express uncertainty about future. It's really important to follow up these formulas because that's the way that we're gonna use them, or that they are made of. For example, the zero conditional, we use the simple present, and we use the will clause or other modal verb that expresses uncertainty about future possibility. And remember that after the modal verbs we use the base forms. Now for the second conditional, we use it to express imaginary, unreal situations, and in these clauses we have to use the simple past, and the result clause we use would all the time, and the base form. Remember that would is a modal verb, so after modal verbs we use the base form. Now let's gonna listen to the explanation. Okay, let's gonna check it out.
Page 99, Exercise 3, Grammar. Second conditional. Second conditional sentences describe unreal or imaginary situations. Use a past tense verb in the if clause, the condition. Use would in the main clause.
What would you do if you had more money?
If I had more money, I would buy a camcorder.
Use were for the past tense of be in the condition.
Would you travel if you were rich?
Yes, I would. Yes, if I were rich, I'd travel a lot. No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't travel a lot if I were rich.
Okay. Now, it's important to notice that when we have the verb to be, the verb to be is always used with were, despite that in the simple past we use it as was for I, he, she, and it for the singulars. But in the real conditional we use were. That means that it's something that's unreal. And also, don't forget to follow up the structures. It's really important. Now we're gonna have this exercise complete the conversation with the correct words, then compare with a partner. So it's time to pause the video and check out the answers with me. And here you go. So it says, what would you do if suddenly became rich? So the verb become turns to became, simple past. Looked at would do, base form. Now, I would quit my job, then I would travel for a few months. We use would to respond, to answer to the questions. Then number 2, if a teacher gave you a good grade by mistake, what would you do? Gave, simple past of give. Then what would you do? Question. I wouldn't feel right about it. I would point out the mistake. So it's an answers. Look at the verbs, base form. Then how would you feel if a friend called you late at night? I would be surprised, but I wouldn't feel angry. And then we have, I would talk about the problem with my best friend. You have a relationship problem. Who would you talk to? I would talk about the problem with my best friend. And that's it. And then we have the fourth activity is speaking. What would you do? It says discuss the questions, take notes. So for this activity number 4, I want you to pick up any of these questions and try to answer it. Remember, using would. To answer these conditionals, we use would. And now let's gonna check them out. First one we have, where would you go if you had a lot of money? What would you give away if you were rich? What would you do if you saw your teacher or your boss at the supermarket? When would you turn down a job offer? Would you point out a mistake if a classmate made on one? Why or why not? What would you do over if you had the chance? And well, this is the activity part C. Now let's gonna practice on the workbook. Let's gonna go to the workbook now. Now we're going part C, workbook. What would you do? It says rewrite the sentences, change the underlined words, use phrasal verbs in parentheses, and the correct pronoun. Okay, so an example number 1 says, can you show me where Linda is? So it's point out. And we change it to, can you point her out? And now we're gonna do exactly the same. So it's time to pause the video and then check out the answers with me. And here you go. Can you point her out? Second, you need to do your homework again. It has a lot of mistakes. Do over. So you need to do it over. It has a lot of mistakes. Number 3, I didn't accept that job. Turn down. I turn it down. 4, I'm going to donate this t-shirt. So give away. I'm going to give them away. Number 5, please don't mention his daughter. Please don't bring her up. Number 6, when are you going to return the money I lent to you? When are you going to pay me back? When are you going to pay it back to me? Number 7, we really should discuss our problem. Talk over. We really should talk it over. Then 8, can you use it? Can you use this computer before I buy it? Try it out. Can I try it out before I buy it? Number 9, I'll return your camera tomorrow. If that's okay. Give back. I'll give it back tomorrow if that's okay. And number 10, let's do the conference call later. Let's put it off. Okay, so this is the practice of the phrasal verbs. Separable phrasal verb. Now we have this email. It says complete Bianca's email with the correct forms of the verbs in parentheses. Use second conditional. Okay, so you can pause a bit in this moment and check out the answers with me. And here you go. Number 1, would do. I have some interesting news. My aunt might give me some money. Would do some money things if I had a lot of money. If I were rich, I wouldn't work, would not work anymore. That would be great. If I didn't have or did not have, remember that's negative form of the simple past. We use didn't, did for negative. Questions, auxiliary, dids, actions. Okay. I would travel around the world. I would feel lucky if I got a lot of money. What would you do? All right, so this is get. The past, the simple past of get is got. Now let's gonna go to the next email. Now we're gonna do exactly the same, but now with Rob. So you can pause a bit in this section and check it out with me. So it says, hey Bianca, woo, wow. It would be great if you aunt gave you money. Is it a lot of money? If I had a lot of money, I made, or well, I would make I would make a big, beautiful garden, but I can't have a garden at my apartment. So I would need a house with a big yard. I would use a lot of the money to buy a house, and there would be a lot of room for 2 big gardens, a vegetable garden and a flower garden. I would give some money to my brother too. If I were rich, he wouldn't have to pay or would not have to pay me back. Take care. Right, so this is the practice of the second conditional. Let's gonna go to the next part. And this one, it says write questions with the words in parentheses. Use the second conditional. Well, we're gonna use the what would. No, it's the question form. Okay, so to make it faster, okay, you can pause the video right here, pause it in this moment, and now let's gonna reveal the answer. So we have, what would you do if you were braver? What would you buy for your friends if you had a lot of money? Where would you go if you had a free ticket? What would you do if you had 200 vacation days? And what instrument would you play if you and your friends had a band? And what sport would you try? You try an extreme sport. And what would you give away if you moved? Now for this activity number 5. I want you to answer any of these questions. You can pick up any of these questions using the second conditional. And also, if number 1, it says, what would you do if you were braver? If I were braver, I would take a trip around the world by myself. So you can pick up any of these questions and answer it, okay, here in the comments. So this is activity number 5. And last part D, what accomplishment says. So what do you think it would be like to talk across your country? Why read an interview? Why did Mary and Etsuko often have to walk between 30 and 40 kilometers? So I'm gonna display the reading right here, so you wanna check it out. And then let's gonna answer the next question. So we have here the next questions. Well, it's find the words in italic, the meaning in the article. What do they mean? Write the words next to the correct definitions. No? Inhabited by cost. So let's gonna listen to the next track. And here you go.
Lesson D. What an accomplishment. Page 100. Exercise 1. Reading. A walk across Japan.
Mary King and Etsuko Shimabukuro completed a 7,974-kilometer walk across Japan. Mary takes our questions about their incredible accomplishment. Why did you walk across Japan?
The map maker Ino Tadataka inspired me. He spent 17 years on and off walking through Japan. He drew the country's first real maps.
How long did it take?
A year and a half. We walked from the island of Hokkaido in the north down to Okinawa. In Hokkaido, we walked about 40 kilometers a day, and on the other islands, about 30. We often had no choice about the distance because we had to find a place to sleep.
Describe a typical day.
There really wasn't one, but we tried to start by 7 a.m. and walk for 10 to 12 hours. Sometimes we had breakfast on the road. We had to be careful in Hokkaido because the bears there could smell our food. We saw bears twice, which was terrifying.
Did you walk every day?
No, we needed to do our laundry, check our email, and rest. Also, I wanted to interview people for my blog.
What were some of the best parts?
There were many. We stayed in a haunted guest house, walked on fire at a festival, and visited many wonderful hot springs.
Any low points?
You know, overall, we really enjoyed ourselves, but there were a lot of aches and pains along the way. The traffic could be scary because there weren't always sidewalks for pedestrians.
Did you ever think about giving up?
No, we never wanted to stop. Actually, I was sad when it ended. I wanted to walk from Okinawa back to Tokyo, but Etsuko said we had to accept that we accomplished our goal. It was time to go home.
Would you do it over again?
Definitely. I'd love to retrace our steps when I'm 80. But I've also set myself the goal of walking across the UK or India someday.
All right, now it's we have the next activity, part C. It says find the words in italics, and in this article, what do they mean? Write the words next to the correct definitions, and here you go. So inhabited by ghosts, it's haunted. Then quitting, it's giving up. People who walk, pedestrians, go back over a road again. Retrace, and with brakes, on and off. And gave someone an idea, inspired. Okay, this is our reading activity. Now let's gonna practice to the one from the word book. What an accomplishment says. Read the letter, then circle the correct answers. How it says, how old is Thomas? Who is Peter? 99. His brother, 100. His son, 101. His partner. Okay, then there's a short reading. I'm gonna do like zooming, or try to do the best zooming for you. Think that, okay, so you can pause the video to read it. And then, well, here's the next part. You can pause the video in this moment too. And then we have again, so read the letter again, the number, the events in the correct order. So let's gonna check out the first part. So the number 1, it would be like this. 99 and his grandson. Then the next, it would be in this order. He was in a jazz band. Number 2, he bought a car. Number 3, he got married. Number 4, he started taking pictures. Number 5, he turned down a promotion. Number 6, he started a volunteer program. Number 7, he got a computer. Number 8, he got a cell phone. And yeah, that's it. So we finished unit number 10. And don't forget to post your activities. There are 5. Okay, so hope that you have a wonderful day. Take care and see you soon. Bye bye.